It was a bright spring morning. The air was scented with wisteria, and the sun's rays caressed the roofs of the city with an almost unreal sweetness. Claudia had just dropped her children off at school and was driving serenely home. Along the way, she passed by the company where her husband Davide worked. Without thinking too much, she stopped. She had bought 2 takeaway coffees, one for herself and one for him. It was one of those spontaneous attentions she had always had, small gestures to keep love alive amidst 1,000 commitments between her work as a freelance translator and family life. Parked across the street, she waited for a few minutes, watching the entrance to the building. Then she saw it. David came out of the main door with the same determined stride and natural elegance that had attracted her so much years before. But he wasn't alone. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. A woman was walking next to him, long brown hair, well-groomed, high heels, an elegant dress that clashed with the time and the environment. She was laughing, touching his arm, and David was laughing with her, relaxed. Claudia felt a knot in her stomach, but that was only the beginning. The woman came closer and kissed him on the lips, naturally, as if it were the most normal thing in the world, and he kissed her back. Claudia was paralyzed. The coffee she was holding in her hands began to shake. Tears welled up in her eyes without her being able to stop them. She watched that scene as if it were part of a movie she had not chosen to see. When Davide and the woman got into the car together and drove away, she was still there, unable to move. When she got home, every corner of their little house suddenly seemed alien to her. The photos on the wall, the children's drawings on the refrigerator, the toys scattered on the carpet. Everything spoke of a life that now seemed fake. How could the man who claimed to love her betray all of this? When David came back that evening, it seemed as if nothing had happened. "Hi, love," he said, trying to kiss her, but Claudia pulled away. "Who is that woman?" she asked without beating around the bush. David tried to deny it, then sighed. "Her name is Sylvia. She's a colleague, but you and the children are my life." Those words hurt her more than the betrayal itself. Claudia stood up, her voice cracking with anger. "Your life? And this is how you show it to us? By betraying us?" Davide tried to justify himself, but she pressed him. "She's pregnant, right? I saw how you looked at her." And he, with a guilty silence, confirmed. They slept in separate rooms, and that night Claudia didn't sleep a wink. She looked at the ceiling, thinking back to everything they had built together. Every thought always led her to the same conclusion. She had to protect her children. The next day, taking the children to school, she tried to hide her pain behind a tired smile. "Mom, are you sad?" Ariana asked innocently. Claudia looked at her, caressed her cheek. "Just a little, but everything will be okay, I promise." When she got home, she turned on her computer and looked for a lawyer. She found the office of Lorenzo Martelli, a lawyer who specialized in family law. When she met him, she was struck by his calm and kindness. She told him everything, from the discovery of the betrayal to her fear of losing her children. "You're doing the right thing," Lorenzo told her. "You have the right to be happy and to offer serenity to your children." Those words were a relief. For the first time in days, Claudia felt less alone. Lorenzo proved to be a caring and human professional. He helped her take the first steps in the divorce process, protecting her rights and those of her children. With him at her side, Claudia felt she could face any obstacle. After the provisional sentence that granted her sole custody and the right to live in the family home, Claudia understood that the house had become a prison of memories. She decided that the time had come for a real change. She began looking for a new home, one where she could build a present without ghosts. Lorenzo recommended a trusted real estate agent. Claudia visited several apartments with the children, letting them be part of the choice. When they found a bright apartment with a small balcony and an internal courtyard, she knew it was the right one. "I want the pink wall," said Ariana. "And I want a bed shaped like a car," added Leo. Claudia looked at them smiling. "Okay, but only if you help me put everything away." The day of the move was emotional. Leaving the old house was not easy, but that first dinner among the boxes with the children laughing was proof that they were going in the right direction. Over time, Lorenzo was no longer just her lawyer. He continued to be there, discreetly but consistently. He offered to help with the furniture assembly, to accompany Ariana to school when Claudia was late with a delivery. One evening, he brought her some tulips. "I thought they would make your house even more beautiful," he said, smiling. Claudia looked at him gratefully. The children adored him. One evening, Leo asked him, "Ricardo, will you play with me?" And he sat on the floor as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Claudia watched them in silence, and inside herself she began to feel something new. One winter evening, after a day spent together, Claudia and Lorenzo stood on the balcony watching the city lights. "I don't want you to think that everything I've done is just part of my job," he told her. "It's much more than that. I love you, I really do. And I know your heart needs time, but I'm here." Claudia looked into his eyes. "I feel something too, but I'm afraid of making mistakes again." Lorenzo took her hand. "You don't have to be afraid. We can take all the time you want." Over time, that promise became reality. Claudia and Lorenzo began to live a simple, sincere love story. The children accepted him as part of their family. Ariana took his hand one day at the park and said, "You are my favorite." That moment was the confirmation for Claudia that everything was going in the right direction. When Lorenzo asked her to marry him on a quiet evening during a romantic dinner, she said yes with her heart full of emotion. "I want us to be a family," he told her, and Claudia knew it was true. They organized the wedding with simplicity, involving the children in every detail. On the day of the ceremony, celebrated in the garden behind the house, Ariana brought the flowers, Leo the rings. Claudia wore a simple but elegant white dress. When they exchanged vows amid the applause of her closest friends, Claudia felt that every wound was healing. "I promise to love you and to be a father to your children," Lorenzo said with a trembling voice. And she replied, "I promise to build with you every day with love and courage." Their house filled with laughter, shared dinners, books open on the couch, and dreams to be realized. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And every night when Claudia looked at Lorenzo and her sleeping children, she knew that after all the storm, she had found peace and a new, true happiness. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.